Hello, welcome to the land of Kakiak. My name is Laurel. Today is just going to be kind of a chat and catch up, and I'm going to show you something new. Have you guys heard of, I don't know if it's pronounced Barian or Burian or Brain. I feel like I've heard these referred to different ways, but it's the, I would say Burian or maybe Burian builders. But it makes sense if it's brain builders, and it's just kind of a funny spelling. But anyways, it's these science textbooks that are studying, these ones are for like K through 6, and you're studying science from in a chronological order. So it starts out with creation is the first book, and then it goes on to science in the ancient world, which is this one. People have been mentioning these to me for a while, and I kept looking at them and kind of going back. And then I saw a video, a YouTuber put up a video on it, and the algorithm was like reading my brain because it suggested that video to me. It wasn't even somebody I was subscribed to, but she was talking about these and how much she loved them. And there's, at the end of every lesson, there are like lesson review, which I love that, like review questions for notebooking. There's actually notebooks you can buy to go with these as well. Although I think I'm just gonna, if I'm gonna use these, I'm just gonna have the kids just use our, one of my own notebooks that we use for their science notebooking page in there. But I like that it has like review questions and prompts to be helpful with that. But there are, experiments at the end of every lesson too. So if you wanted to do experiments along the way, you could, that backed up the lesson. Yeah, so I like the idea. I like the concept of studying science chronologically. There's also, they come with these helps and hints, little pamphlets. It has like the answers to the questions and stuff in here. And I thought that'd be neat, especially if you're one of those people that was using Story of the World or something, where you're going through periods of time chronologically. It'd be nice to match them up with where you are in your main history course. I thought that was neat. So anyways, I bought like 5 of these because, per usual, like if there's a set of something, I'm just such a sucker for a set of books. So we've got, Science in the Beginning, right? So this is definitely coming from a Christian creationist worldview. And then we have Science in the Ancient Times, Science in the Scientific Revolution, Science in the Age of Reason, and Science in the Industrial Age. And there's a lot of illustrations and like real photos and stuff in the books. I like that about it too. Anyways, I've been hearing good reviews about these, and I think that concept of studying by time period just appealed to me, and I just went and got the books. Look really beautiful. Like, I like the way they look physically. They're the nice sturdy textbook. When you have multiple kids, it's nice to have a hardback, so it'll last. And so I don't totally know. I lost my mind and just bought this on an impulse. But I was thinking I might use these for our elementary courses and push all of my Apologia science books into middle school, in high school. Which the ones I've bought so far, I think that'd be fine. I didn't buy a lot of the Apologia, like elementary age ones anyways, because they just looked, they're all topical. And I didn't know that, my kids would want to do one topic for like a whole year exactly. My middle son did do their astronomy book in the 3rd grade, but I think that could definitely wait. Like, I think you could hold off all the way to like 6th grade for that astronomy book if you wanted to. So that might apply to my youngest. I might be changing up how we're doing some history, but anyways, or how we're doing science. But if we use these, I will tell you more about them as that comes up. The other thing I thought I would do is just kind of catch up today. I've been trying to get a feel for the new school year. Even though we school year round, I always have like a date that's like technically our official start of the year. And that's like when I'll, start new things, new curriculum, or change up our schedule to be our more permanent, like year-round schedule. And everything's going really well. The kids are getting a lot more independent. I have switched my middle son from his Right Start Math I switched him into Number Stories Book 3, and so that he could work independently. And that's helping my sanity a ton, because I was just finding, even though we really like Right Start Math, I don't know, I think it's probably just partly me and my own like energy limitations, or like how much I'm already doing. But I can only teach so many subjects a day to so many kids. And I just honestly, it was a need for me that he do math independently. He's in 4th grade now. His reading skills are pretty good. He should be able to read a book and like do it. And so he is doing that. It's going well. My only issue is, as I've shared before about my vintage math books, is that there is not an answer key. I don't have any answer keys for these books. And I was thinking about just like making my own, but I never got around to it all summer. I just didn't have time to sit down and do it. So I did put in some orders. I'll show you when they come. I did buy some different versions of the study arithmetics books that I believe match the answer keys that I could buy the PDF form. So I already bought those PDFs, like 3 of them. I ordered 3 books. I think I did 3, 4, and 5 I bought. So I'm waiting for those to come in. I'll show you when they come. I hope they're in decent shape. But yeah, so him going independent with math has really helped me out. It was getting to where we were missing math because I'm juggling mostly between, him and his younger brother, who's in 1st grade. Yeah, I just felt like there was days we were just missing math and not doing it. And I was like, no, this isn't working. Like, you need to be doing math every day. So it's going to have to be something that you can do independently. And I told him, like, we could still do we can still finish that Right Start book, but it may have to be just here and there until it's done, because he does enjoy it. So I wish that Right Start, I wish it was something that he could do on his own. It's just not, maybe he could, it's just not formatted to be done on your own, because it's like a script. You go back and forth with them. And I just don't know how well it would work for him to just do that himself. He might be able to, but he would have all the answers right in front of him from the teacher guide. And I just don't know how that would work. So it's paused for now. Our co-op is going to be starting here at the beginning of September. So I wanted to get like all of our home subjects and that stuff, kind of a nice flow to it, and kind of iron out the kinks here and there. And everything is going well. Actually, everything is going surprisingly well. I kind of am like, now I'm kind of trepidatious about adding anything in from co-op, because I don't know how it's going to affect our week. So we'll just see how that goes. So I did put up a little question on YouTube, a little message to you guys the other week, and I was just asking for ideas for making videos. I actually thought it maybe just be fun just to respond to some of the things that people suggested, and just in our catch-up video, and just I just thought that might be just kind of fun to do versus a whole video on it. So here we go, let's do one. Oh yeah, somebody asked for our homeschool story, how it all started. I can't remember, I'm sure I've talked about it here and there, but for people that are new to me, I always had reservations about school and public school, and I never could even afford to even think about private schools. And but I just was always in that mindset of that I needed to work, and like you just put your kids in school. Like, homeschool just wasn't much of a radar thing. I remember like it kept coming back up to me though. It was really where I was from, it was really not a popular thing to do. I didn't know anybody that was homeschooling. I only knew one family my whole life growing up that homeschooled, and I think they only homeschooled through middle school. I think they all went to high school at a public school. Yeah, I just didn't see myself as, I just thought I have to work. I need to earn an income or whatever. I don't know. I didn't have the best school experience. I don't think I went to a very good school. And a part of me was like, I doubted myself. I doubted my own reservations, because I'm like, is it just me? Is it just because I didn't have a good experience in public school And so am I, holding that against the system or the teachers or whatever? I mean, so doubting myself a lot, and like I didn't know whether to trust my own mind. And anyways, I put my son into school, my oldest son. I always kind of noticed that when he'd come home, like they started sending him home with homework. I mean, right away, like he had stuff to do at home, and he didn't seem to know anything. Like when he got home, and I'm like, what are they doing at school? Like, why are they sending, like, aren't they supposed to be teaching you this at school? Like, you've been at school all day. Why am I now having to, like, I have to get off work. I've already worked all day. I've already had to, like, do all my household chores, make dinner, and do all that kind of stuff. And now I've got to sit down and do homework with Everett for, like, hours in first grade. Like, it didn't feel right. And he would and then I thought, like, he's, like, tired. He's toast. He's been at school all day. He'd have to get up so early to go to school. And but he liked school. He liked going, but he's social. He had little friends, and he loved recess and lunch. Whenever I'd ask him, what his favorite part of school was, it was always lunch. He liked his teachers. But he's a very content person. He's just a very sweet, happy person in general. So he just, naturally just adjusted, but he just really wasn't learning. And like, I would go into like teacher meetings, and they would say things like, I remember in first grade, them saying, we were supposed to do these assessments. We had things to tell you, but we didn't get around to him. So we don't have any assessments for you. We can't, they wouldn't tell me how he was doing. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, why am I here? Stop wasting my time. It was really disappointing. And I was like, he's not, I don't know why is he having, I disagreed with him being so young, having like being at school all day and then having homework. That just didn't, I'm like, why aren't you reading at school? Like, I mean, and I'm all for just like reading or whatever, but it was like these worksheets and like stuff, all types of stuff coming home. Anyways, so yeah, I wasn't really happy with all that kind of stuff. And he didn't seem to really know much of it. Like I was not mentally prepared to teach him, not thinking that was going to be my responsibility, thinking the school does that, right? I had like abdicated the education of my children to the state. Anyways, we moved across the country, go to a different school, and it was, again, pretty lackluster performance. I remember going in, so by this time Everett's in second grade, and I was like, he doesn't know his math facts, like he doesn't know anything, he doesn't know them at all. And the teacher just being like, you can get him some flashcards. They kept just telling me he's at grade level, but when I saw his test scores, if that's what they call grade level, that's not good enough. They really, they were completely unresponsive. I tried to get him into, I remember there was like some summer reading program. It was kind of like, you're not poor enough to get help. Your son isn't struggling hard enough to get help, but I felt that he needed help. Yet I didn't know how to help him, and they wouldn't tell me. I was like begging him. Like I had multiple meetings at the school asking them, how can I help my son? What can I do at home? Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And they literally wouldn't tell me anything. They wouldn't tell me anything. It kept saying, he's at grade level, like annoyed with me. So my standards were clearly higher than the schools. And then of course I was one of those people that COVID, we had kids in school and COVID came around, and our school district just completely stopped educating the children at all. There was, I discovered they were having us just like pick up these, they claimed they wouldn't do anything online because they claimed there were some kids who didn't have internet, so therefore it wasn't fair to do online learning. And so nobody got any learning. And they were like having us pick up these packets every week. So we have to drive down there and wait in line and get these packets of schoolwork. And I realized that it was all review. It was nothing new. And I talked to somebody at the superintendent's office. It wasn't the superintendent, but somebody else. And of course they get me on there with like on the phone with some other lady who claims she's a doctor of something or another. They're very snooty, And I'm like, why are you, so are you guys not, because they did not tell, nothing went out that said we're not introducing any new material. This will all be review for the rest of the year. They didn't say that. They didn't tell the parents that. And they're all acting like they're heroes, while they're literally doing nothing but like review packets. Yeah, the gal basically on the phone basically told me that I was privileged, and because I was home, and yeah, they didn't care about my child at all, and it was all about some other children. I don't know who they are. I don't know if they exist, or this is just their excuse to do nothing. This is why, you guys, this is why I don't talk about it, because I get so mad. I get so heated. I get so offended by how we were treated. And anyways, I actually put him back into school the next year. And then there was like all those riots and everything. And kids were coming to school with like racially weird stuff on their clothes. And I was like, we are out of here. We are out of here. I my son came home and said this kid has like certain t-shirt on, and we're talking about like fourth graders, and there's just, there's weird political things going on in the schools, and I was like, it's just like finally the wall was finally completely pulled off my eyes. Like it was like such a rude awakening, and I was like, oh, like I can't. And I had we'd moved and stuff. I had went and got a certificate, taken classes, and got a certification to start a new career and everything. And I just dropped it. I dropped everything. I didn't take that job. And I just was like, that's it. I called the school that day and withdrew him and started homeschooling. And I had absolutely no preparation. And so it was just like all those factors kind of coming in, and I'm sure there's more, whatever. But I won't rant anymore about it. Yeah, I actually try not to talk about it because I get so mad. But then I think it's actually all been for the best. Me coming home and being with my family has been the best thing for all of us. It's been the best thing for my marriage, for me personally as a woman, for my children. I just think, in a way, it's the silver lining. I actually feel like, I was just too asleep at the wheel to see. I just been too programmed by my culture. I wasn't really questioning the systems, and I finally just couldn't I couldn't unsee, So that's what got us started. And everyone's doing well. It was a really stressful first year, I will say, with me scrambling and trying to figure out how to do this. And, when you take on the responsibility of your kids' education, you're like, you really feel the weight of that, So the mom guilt gets like quadrupled, right? So I had to deal with all that in my head right now. And also I'm like not working, trying to figure out how we're going to afford this, right? So just a bunch of adjustments, but the truth is, like, the kids are my priority over, making money or lifestyle or whatever. Like, we will just adjust and be content and love our lives and love the Lord and love each other and persevere, and we will grow and be better for it. That's our story. Somebody asked me about my printer. Okay, so I bought the HP Smart Tank. Is it 6001? Yeah, HP Smart Tank. I love it. I think I probably go through ink faster than a normal person because I print so much stuff. I print stuff for our school. I'm always creating things. I have to do a lot of printing for just to test things out to make sure they're like printing correctly and formatting correctly. I teach Sunday school at church, so I can use the church printer, but a lot of times it's just easier to print from home. So I print a ton of church stuff. I love it. The color saturation is so much better than my EcoTank. I don't have any of the weird lines I was getting with my EcoTank. So yeah, if you were like considering an EcoTank or the HP Smart Tank, I would definitely go with the HP. Yeah, I really like it. Sometimes I get asked how I plan, like how I come up with lesson plans and things like that. I think people are specifically maybe asking me about my McGuffey reader, like language arts plans and stuff like that. I guess it's hard for me to say because I've come about it organically, but just from reaching out and learning as much as I could. I would read. These are my reading suggestions. What's it called? King Alfred's English. It's a really easy read. It's enjoyable to read. It's all about the history of English. And it'll give you this like broad overview. You can even like read it to your kids. If you have like you might even just give it to one of your kids to read if they're old enough. It's not hard reading or anything. I love it. I love the author's voice coming through in her writing. I was nerding out. I was like telling my husband the other day about something I read in there about how English. So right, we have a Phoenician alphabet, right? Like our alphabet is from the ancient Phoenicians, but we've dropped over time. We've dropped some of the letters and stuff. So one of the letters was the thorn, which actually stood for the TH sounds. Instead of having to write TH, it just had its own letter for that symbol for that sound. Same with there's the ash, we dropped that. QU used to be, our words used to be spelled CW, which would make sense, but it was the French influence. We switched out for the French spelling of QU for that sound. Anyways, it'll just give you all these fun little facts. And it'll talk about all the invasions and conquests of the British Isles and just, group after group and how the language has been affected. So I really think that that's helpful for like a broad understanding of English. So King Alfred's English, I would read it. It's like this, right? It's I'll link it for you in the description box. It's a inexpensive book. I love it. I actually kind of feel like all homeschoolers should read it. It also is going to like reinforce history lessons too. And then I read The Logic of English. I love that book. That was super helpphul. I'll link that for you. And I remember I read this book and then I started just like, I looked into alpha phonics. If you look up Dawn Potter's, I think it's like the Blumenthal Clinic page. I'll try to find it and link it for you too. You can print off for free the alpha phonics like flashcards. Those are super helpful. How did I come up with my flow, like with my lesson plans? I can't remember exactly. All I know is that I started following because I'm like searching for information about phonics and morphology and like reading comprehension and spelling. I've just gone down a bazillion rabbit trails. And so I have followed teachers. There are YouTube like videos like for free that you can find. They're like trainings on certain things that sometimes like school districts or something will do. And then you'll come across some random YouTube video. It's like some training, which is kind of boring, but I have like sat through those. I like any free training I can take, I do. Yeah, I really can't remember exactly how. I know that I got the idea for copy work from the Robinson curriculum, right? So I knew I was already going to be doing a copy work. And so it just made sense to me that whatever we were reading, that we would also copy it. It just made sense to reinforce what they were reading. And then of course, through the Robinson curriculum, I came across the McGuffey readers, which the revised version already had the phonograms like pulled out. So they were already explicitly teaching the phonograms and then basically having a decodable text and then, to read to follow up, and it builds on itself. And I was like, this is like the science of reading stuff I've been learning about. They've been doing it for over 100 years. So it just seems like they've really worked hard to reinvent the wheel here. So I don't know. All I can say is it's like organic. I just have organically started piecing together from different, resource. The McGuffey readers already had so much to them that it wasn't hard to build out from it. And then I think I like really picked up on the drill component of alpha phonics, and drilling the, sound cards. So I just started blending these techniques, blending things I was learning and with the kids. And of course and then I had bought Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons, and I had done that whole program with William. And so I feel like I picked up kind of like sounding out techniques and things like that, and little comprehension techniques, like questions along the way that I kind of like started applying to the McGuffey readers when we started the primer. So I don't know. I don't know if that's like not helpful, but that's just kind of, it's ever evolving too. Then I started getting really into spelling, because spelling is so much harder than reading. And so then I did a whole deep dive on spelling, and then I came up with my own spelling program. And now I like put those together, right? So I don't know. I don't know if that was helpful, but that's as much as I can say about that. Somebody recently asked what we're using for history and science. So see, right now for history, we're using The Good and the Beautiful Year 3. I also pair up G.A. Henty books with whatever we're reading for my oldest son. He's in 8th grade. And I have a book. I have a couple history videos I'll try to find for you and link those in the description box. But yeah, right now our main like history is The Good and the Beautiful Year 3, and there's always like readers that come along with them. We really enjoyed that program. I always talk about it, but it's like discontinued. So I mean, you might be able to find used sets, and it comes with games and everything. I'm so sad they discontinued it, but I think you can still buy on the website. I think you can buy their book and stuff like in PDF form. But yeah, that's what we're using. And for science, so Everett is going to be taking computer science through his co-op this year. And then I also have those Answers in Genesis, those books, and I was thinking about having him read one of those this year, just to get, I mean, it is like a young earth perspective. So I personally don't take a hard stance on this issue, the age of the earth issue. I just I mean, of course I have like some of my own thoughts, but like I'm open to us learning about multiple theories, and then I think the kids should know that these different theories exist, and like this is what people think and this is what they'll say. So yeah, like we definitely come across books that talk about evolution, and like you come across like really secular books and like all the time in your academic stuff that you're trying to, and a lot of it like I do completely reject some of it. And I just tell the kids that. But like I am open to learning about lots of stuff. So I don't know that I believe that the earth is only 6,000 years old or something. But I don't know. I don't know how old the earth is exactly. But I do think there's a lot of good information in those Answers in Genesis books. And there's a lot of questions that have been raised that I think are valid questions. And they have alternate explanations for things. And I just think we should learn about all of it. And I think that's the only way to be truly educated. Then you have to decide like what, which way sounds most logical to you, which one makes the most sense, and which ones, or is it some third option, right? I don't know. So, and then for William for science this year, he's taking science also at co-op. I think he's taking something called, the first half, like one half of the year is like zoology. I think the other half of the year is maybe anatomy. I think he's doing it through his co-op. So I'm going to see what books and stuff he brings home for that, or pages or whatever. On the other hand, I do have, like I said, those brain builder books, and also these are on his reading list for the famous scientists as well. So that'll also be covering some science topics for him this year. And then my youngest, I was planning on doing the nature anatomy and like notebooking with that for my first grader this year. I did buy those nature readers. I'll show them to you guys again. I have a couple different sets of books to show you. I bought those Christian Liberty nature books, reader books. So these can be read. The thing is, they're supposed to be on their like reading level, like kindergarten through 5th grade, like book 5. And they have little answer keys to go along with the questions, the review questions for them. So I also may insert one of these this year, maybe more towards the end of the year for the boys. Or I feel like my my 4th grader could probably read his like over this one, like over Christmas break or something, when we have like a break from co-op, I may just have him read this book. I mean, this is all very like observational stuff, which is good, for the elementary years. Other things they have, these like kind of maybe a little bit younger, but they're really interesting. There's more than this, but these are some, they're called a Just Ask book. And they have all these kind of sciencey or like nature topics, like why do birds fly south? And they're like these little explanations, these really short little books. This also could be something that we just do like one of these a week or something, have a, read it one day, maybe have like an activity or something. So, I mean, they look at them now, they just pull them off the shelf and look at them. I don't think they still print these. I had to buy these used. I think I found these on eBay or something. But if I can find a link to them, I will, because they're easy, they're fun. So I don't know, that's kind of what we're doing for science this year. I'll link to that stuff in the description box if you want to look through it. And I'm pretty relaxed in in elementary school. My personal philosophy is I want things like science and history to be really low key, just enjoyable and enriching, but not stressing them out, because I want their main brain power to go towards learning how to read, write, and do math. So those are like our 3 R's. I want to really get those skills in them, and I really want to have established good habits with them, good study habits, good behavior, being responsible, and I don't want to like overkill school with the additional subjects and I am required to do math or science and history. So I don't want it to take so long, right, that it wears them out every day. So we're trying to keep life enjoyable as well as teaching them their skills. I was going to tell you, we got a subscription to Crunch Labs for my middle son. That's what he wanted for his birthday present this year. He wanted one of the subscription boxes. And so he got his first one, and what's the guy's name? It's like Rob something. He has a YouTube channel. He's really popular. My kids love him. And I think he works for NASA. But yeah, now he has these Crunch Labs. I'll link their website for you too. But yeah, that was he got his first box, and he made the little, toy that was the project, and he really liked it. So anyways, I was going to say, if you heard me talk about Crunch Labs before, he has started making his box, and he does like it. And they're supposed to be like learning a, kind of like some kind of science topic or rule or something along with each one. So the last thing I was going to share with you guys is just something new we're doing around here, and that is exercising. It's been so hot all summer. I feel like people don't even want to go outside and play. I mean, it's just so hot. And so we've been like really cooped up. So this summer I've been trying to get the kids to like get into like a little workout routine, and so this is what we're doing in the morning. So we get up in the mornings. I have a little walking pad. It's not like a treadmill. I can't really run on it, but I have a walking pad. So I'll like walk it's in my room, and I turn on, there's a YouTube channel that has a bunch of really little kid workouts. And it's just like a little animated computer graphic kids like working out or whatever, but like between, I don't know, 15 minutes or something. The little kids are loving it. And it's really good. I like all those cross body, motions. Things are good for their brain to talk side to side, giving them some like body awareness and balance, and they like it. So they're into it, they like it, and it's not too long or arduous or anything, but it's been a nice like pick me up, get going in the morning. They get their workout in, and then they go brush their teeth and get dressed or whatever for the day. And then then usually I'm like walking on my little walking pad, and then my oldest will come up because he sleeps in a tiny bit later, and then I actually will I'll just replay it, so he'll do the little workout too. Oh my gosh, I did it yesterday. I'm so sore. This is like this. It's supposed to be a little kid exercises, but I am so sore today. It's probably just because I'm out of shape. But I was like, yeah, it's actually a good little workout. It's just like body weight, exercises. So I'll share that channel with you down below in case you just something simple and free and doesn't take up a lot of time. I was listening to some podcast and they were talking about the importance of, they called it like activity snaps. You know, it's like every hour or so, I don't know, every so often you need to get up, you need to do something. So I've been trying to build in some activity snaps throughout the day with the kids. Like I do try to get them to go out and jump on the trampoline. That's something we got, and I'm like, it's hot, so you know they can turn on the sprinkler, but go jump on the trampoline for a little bit. Usually like after lunch or something, and then come back in. And then we've been trying to go after dinner, like walks or bike rides just around our neighborhood. And so, yeah, it's been feeling really good, but it's taken us a while to kind of make it part of our, like, be consistent. But yeah, like, people are looking forward to it. No one's complaining. So I just thought I'd share that with you, because it's like, when you're home, you're a stay-at-home mom and you're like schooling them. It's like you're responsible for everything. You have to make sure that they're getting enough exercise, that they're eating well, that they're sleeping well. You know, the exercising is helping the sleeping, and the sleeping is helping the schooling. So it's all beneficial to get into balance, right? Okay, I'm gonna go. I gotta actually check everyone's notebooks today. It's Saturday. I need to check everyone's notebooks and record what we actually got done this week. So that's probably gonna be my next video, but I will talk to you all soon. Bye.